Hello there, Ankita. Let's have a look. Well done for getting your work in. That's fantastic. So the pie chart, not graph, pie chart below displays the subjects that were preferred in the schools of New South Wales in the years 2014 and 2017, in the years 2014 and 2017. In 2014, geography and maths were the most common subjects chosen, with a percentage of 27.7 and 27.3 respectively. It would have been a good opportunity there. I can see you've used respectively there, so that's fine. Also, I can see throughout the whole description we've listed the exact numbers. If you look at the course you've got access to, we talk about rounding it up, yeah? And we could have also said with almost equal percentages of around 27 each, yeah? So we want to sort of like group them, and this is a perfect opportunity to group them because they were similar, you see? We could have even used a fancy sentence and say slightly above by 0.4%, yeah. But also what I was saying about the group rounding up, we could say was almost 20%, almost 10%. You see, and this way it just sounds a little bit richer and it's easier to read. Physics, biology, and PE were next in the list at 19.4, 13.4. and 8.7 respectively. Yeah, so now compare that to we're next in the list with we're next at the list at almost 20%, around 13%, and almost 10% respectively. Yeah, so see if you can use those fancy sentences in the next one. Only 1.2% of students chose history and IT as their major subjects, whereas biology was least preferred with only 1%. Well done for noting the exception. Well done for using the comparison. That's good work. In 2017, 24.1%, or almost a quarter, we can use fractions as well, almost a quarter of the students chose biology and a fifth studied physics. So what I did here is I used the fractions. Was it a fifth? Yeah, it is a fifth. And just over a fifth. I used fractions, but when we're using fractions, we make sure the whole sentence is with fractions, and then we go back to numbers. Yeah? By using fractions, we're showing a variety of language. Let's go. History, geography, and maths were preferred by 19.4%. Okay, yeah, by 19.4% and 18.7%. 12 point. Can you see how it's quite hard work to read this, to say it? So we could have grouped those together. Yeah, history and geography were equal with roughly a fifth each, or even just group all of those together. Yeah. Physics, history, and geography were roughly equal with a fifth each. In comparison, of just over 10% of the youngsters chose PE or whatever it was. Yeah, chose maths, I think it was. Anyway, PE and IT were chosen by only 2.3% and 1.4% of students. Good. Overall, history, no capital H, was the most popular subject among the students in 2014. Also, we've used whereas already, so we can use while now. It's the same, while in 2017, biology, lowercase b, was the subject of interest, or was the most popular subject. The least liked subject in 2014 was chemistry, and in 2017 it was history. So excellent work there at the end to show the most favoured and the least favoured. I would review the use of superlatives because it's a very useful skill for your task 1 academic. So have a look at English grammar and use, and do some online quizzes just to make sure you really learnt it inside out. But good work. These days, people are spending a huge amount of money on celebrating their weddings. Although marriage is a once-in-a-lifetime event, it is not a wise decision to spend enormous amounts of money or to spend enormous amounts for that, okay, or for this, because we've just mentioned it. It's nearer, yeah? It's nearer in our minds, we say for this. In this essay, I shall discuss both the above mentioned points and underpin my thoughts with relevant examples and ideas. Okay, grammatically perfect, and it's a good start, but this last sentence was grammatically perfect. Overall, the paragraph is a good start. Grammatically perfect, but it's empty. We need to make something in this sentence pertain or is associated to the topic, yeah? And we can't just say the above mentioned points, because I could copy paste that sentence and put it into an essay about gender equality, about nuclear warming, and it's okay-ish, but we want to be aiming for higher than okay, yeah? So in this essay, I shall discuss the implications of losing money or using hard-earned money on celebrations, and demonstrate these points using relevant examples and ideas, something like that. Okay, but we need to put something in about weddings and money and expenses there. On one hand, people wish to celebrate their weddings in the best possible manner, and for making their special day memorable, they allocate a huge amount of money for that purpose. Good. Undoubtedly, the big fat wedding, no, that's from a movie title. Be careful, we don't want that. We could say the extravagant is the best word. Their extravagant wedding brings a lot of pleasure for them, and they enjoy the attention which they get from media coverage. Be careful. Like, for example, my brother had a very extravagant wedding, but no media coverage was involved. So be careful there. Media coverage is for celebrities. So you could get checked for accuracy there. For example, a chairperson of Reliance Group of Industries of India, is that a proper noun? Should we be capitalizing it? I think we probably should be. Recently celebrated his son's wedding and remained in the headlines for a long time because of celebrating such an event. Okay, build it up. Also follow the guide. Yeah, so we should build this up. At the wedding, there were lots of tropical animals and lots of outrageous entertainments, which led to considerable media coverage or press coverage. Okay, tell me why. You just said, all you've said here is that somebody celebrated his son's wedding and he got in the headlines, but why? Yeah, and then we use the sentence guide structure and we finish with therefore. Yeah, therefore it can be clearly seen okay. On the other hand, a huge expenditure for marriage is not justified. Comma. Instead, that money can be utilized for other useful purposes such as charity. For instance, that amount can be used for opening an orphanage. No, we've just said that. Yeah, the money can be utilized for other useful purposes. So, for instance, opening an orphanage that will provide a house to millions of orphans. Okay, this could be a more meaningful way of making the big day memorable, and besides, this charity always brings immense happiness. Therefore, okay, look at the tutorials you have access to. I think, yeah, you do have access to them. So follow that structure. Also, be careful because you've equated a lot of money on weddings and you've assumed that only large famous weddings and like public weddings with celebrities. This is all your essay is about, isn't like celebrities getting married, because celebrities spend millions, yeah, and celebrities get media coverage. But what about people, I don't know, like my sister and my brother who got married in Spain and it cost a lot of money, but there was no, although it cost a lot of money, it didn't reach millions and there's no press coverage. So just be careful there, yeah? We've gone off topic and we're talking about celebrity weddings, it seems, so be careful. From the arguments and examples presented above, I firmly believe that a person should cautiously spend money on the wedding ceremonies and must utilize that money for various beneficial deeds. Excellent. Okay, good, good, good. See, this argument could be relevant if we had avoided using millions, yeah? Yeah, because it would take millions of dollars to house millions of orphans. So just be careful. Apart from that, it's a really good task too. So what I want you to do now is look at the structure in the sentence guide and implement all the corrections that you've heard. Update your error list, write me 2 new essays, and then check those essays for mistakes that you've made previously. Okay? And also try to go into a little bit more detail with your error list. You're doing well. Let's keep on improving.